It's on me.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going.
Go for it.
Sure.
If it's not working, it's not working.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, how are you all doing?
Yeah!
It's Thursday night, we're all out. Welcome to the Lampoon. Are we ready for some comedy tonight?
Yeah!
I said, are we ready for some comedy tonight?
Yeah!
Have you not? Have you just turned up or did you book a table? Book a table. Turned up?
Questions, eh?
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a bit.
Excellent, well, we're talking comedy night. It's a bit of, basically, it's all vagina tonight on stage, and I'm going to lie to all female night. So, hey, ladies! So, how's your week been? How's your week been, Dad? How's your week been, lovely? Awful! Why has it been so bad? Oh, goodness, I feel for you. I do. That's why you're drinking. Keep drinking. We're going to make love, promise. We'll try.
I went there for you, folks.
So this week, well, actually, let me tell you something that happened to me before I left my house today. So my 17-month-old, yes, I have a mum. I have a mum? Of course I've got a mum. I've got a child. Yeah, got that right. 17 months old. Today, I was getting ready, I was doing my hair, and I get, Vic! My name's Vic, it really wasn't. And it was my mum going, your son's walking, and I'm like, Steve, fucking thunder. Jeez! But he's on it, he's getting really loud, which is quite scary for me, because he's turned into a mini-me, which, watch out world, he's now walking, being loud, and he's going to be out there at the shows all up, I think, for the next few weeks. Anyway, I'm just going to crack on, because we've got ladies on tonight, and we talk a lot more than men. So are you ready for your first act? Yeah! Woo! Please, we can give it up for the wonderful Cici!
Okay. So I thought I'd start with just telling you a little bit about me. I'm uncomfortably close to 40, single, and slightly mad, mental health professional. But it's not all bad news though. I've got most of my teeth still, and I'm only hardly ever incontinent. Unless I eat dairy, in which case just watch out. But I'm joking, because I'm not really lactose intolerant. Sadly, the cause of my incontinence is unknown by medical science. But anyway, at this point, most people would stop talking about personal things to strangers. But I've got 5 minutes to kill, so I've only just started. So, as well as the other fantastic qualities that I've just shared with you, I'm also incredibly nosy. So I stick my nose into other people's business, like my cousin Steve sticks his dick into local housewives. As often as possible, and with no regard to the consequence. So I've been incredibly nosy all my life, but it was becoming a psychotherapist was kind of a natural position to take. But as a child, that trait was not so endearing, and it would get me into trouble. So I remember every Saturday morning my brother would go to karate practice, and that would be the ideal opportunity to go into his room and snoop in all of his things. And I used to like to learn what people did behind closed doors. I wanted to know their secrets, and I wanted to know their secrets by being sneaky, because that really is the only way. So he had one of those high beds with the drawers underneath, and all his books and toys would be in those drawers underneath his bed. But I say toys, he was 5 years older than me, so it was really, he was a teenager, it was just porn, more porn, a Beano, and more porn. And of course, sometimes I'd find the odd bit of loose change, and if I did, I'd take it, put it in my money box. Partly because I wanted to buy sweets, and partly because I thought he just had enough porn. I mean, 2-3 cubic metres of porn is enough, right?
No.
Maybe not for you. Now, of course, these days, as a mental health professional, I can ask people outright their most deepest, darkest secrets, and they give me money up front for it. I've got an online booking system, so I'll leave you my card later. Well, when I was a kid, I loved asking why. Why was great. Why this? Why that? I was one of those really annoying brats. Why is Auntie Mary kissing that man who isn't Uncle Tom? Why is Mum sleeping in the afternoon surrounded by bottles? Why is everyone so upset that I shaved the dog? So many whys. Now, I'm professionally trained to ask why. And I could spend the whole session just asking why in different ways. So these days I can analyse and assess a person's replies with an eye that notices subtle shifts and suggests that one is not being candid. Well, this is a developed skill and not one that I had as a child. Shaving dogs, that I was good at. Noticing subtle shifts in behaviour. But one particular day, I was looking through my brother's possessions and I heard a little voice. And at first I ignored it, I dismissed it for the sounds of downstairs or outside. Again, a little high-pitched voice, kind of mousy, coming from inside his bed. Well, this made me inquisitive, and my natural position to say why led me to speaking back to the voice. And I heard this little voice was actually a little person, a tiny little person that lived inside his bed. And I was fascinated by this. And from then on, I would always call out to the little person and say, if I was in his room. And sometimes she would reply, ask me how my day was, and other times she was just off doing whatever little did. Well, for some time, having much taller than my brother's room. I mean, I had loads of teddies and lava lamp, and also it wasn't covered in porn and dirty tissues. So I plucked up the courage to ask him one day, and to find out whether he knew that this little person was living inside of his bed. And he said, "Of course I know. And I know you've been coming into my room." And he wasn't happy about that. So he was having parties with them. It wasn't just one little person in his bed. And he said, "Look, now, crowd, little people see him." But I was also upset that it was only one, and it had the cover over its head. So time passed, and I became more and more jealous of my brother and the fun parties he was having with this nation of little people. And they never visited my room, and his room smelled of wank and farts. But I've always felt like an outsider. Always an outsider looking in, never had anyone to call my own, always just tagging along. And at school, I was the naughty girl. I played jokes on my teachers, I flashed my boobs at the boys. I was promiscuous. I developed well and early. And it was like a superpower. I woke up one morning and I had these puppies and I could get the boys to do anything I wanted. And sometimes I'd let them get away with whatever they wanted too. But then I had a problem, see? I became blind, yeah. I couldn't see a fucking thing. And the teachers didn't believe me. They always assumed my brother was blind. But But then my doctor told me I was suffering with congenital cataracts. Yeah, that's the STI that no one talks about. The shit things inherited. I came out of school and they operated on my eyes. And they told me, now you've got the eyes of an 80-year-old. Like that's something to be proud of. You know, when does that kind of news ever sound like something to be proud of? Oh, congratulations, you've got the face of an 80-year-old. Congratulations, you've got a fanny just like an 80-year-old. Congratulations, guys. I like this is my new. I'm now feeling a massive bionic. That while I still can't actually see the shit, I can look deep into your soul. Like an old hag woman, I can see your soul with the magical, professionally trained why I know your secrets. But I've digressed. There was one secret that my brother had that truly bothered me. And I was jealous, and I was hurt, and I was an outsider. And his secret bothered me. I wanted to talk to the little people. But they never visited my room. I in my own going to my own collection. Just it was that to the little people bed. But when I went to the shop, 60 copies of Our Standard and Pussy Destroyer, they said, they don't sell to 9-year-olds. So one day I broke down into tears and pleaded to be part of this party with the little people. Tears streaming down my face, my voice trembling. Tell them, let me join. Tell them I have to see them. He must have felt guilty at this point. Because he says, sorry, I made it up. He lifts his mattress and he shows me how he dislodged one of his wooden slats in his bed. And he climbs into the drawers and hears a voice. And I said, but what about the one that I saw? What about the one that was in your pillow? And he then picks up his ruler from his desk and he places it under his pillowcase and he lifts one leg so the other. And he says, don't come into my room again. And he holds up a black and white picture of a gruesome character. And he says, the little people weren't true, but I'm friends with ghosts. And ghosts do not like naughty little girls. And then I shat myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's easy! People in the audience, I don't want to be that person. Oh, thank you. This is service. I know if you come here and you're not booked company, but please, these people, us, it's really difficult if there's loads of people talking really loudly. Please just be respectful that this is a hard job. And if you're talking over us, it makes it even more difficult. Anyway, are we ready for your next act? Yeah. Oh, so are we ready for your next act? Yes! She's dressed like Carol Baskin tonight, but she couldn't kill her husband. Are we ready? I had it right until on stage. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes. It's a very hard name to say. Thank you so much. I am actually really drunk, I have to admit. I started drinking after work and I haven't worked since February. Absolutely screwed. These guys are having a lovely time, aren't they? No idea where they are at all. Hiya, you alright? Yeah? I'm good. What are you chatting about? I feel like you're having a really good conversation. I really want to know. What's it about? Are you on a date?
Continuity.
Who?
Business continuity.
That does not sound.
But it's fantastically interesting.
I mean, I'd say bullshit, but I mean. you want my details? You are?
I think you left them when you came in.
Actually, on the little bit of paper, yeah. I mean, that is just a bang, surefire way to sort COVID out, isn't it? Writing your email down. Well done us for being so proactive. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So, I'm a mum. Have we got any parents here tonight? Yeah? No? Parents? Children? Yes! She's happy. Look how happy she is. The lovely lady. That she's far, far away from her children. How many do you have? 2. Which one's your favourite? The dog. Okay. That is good. Yeah. How old are your kids?
5 and 10.
5 and 10. And the dog?
He's 2.
2. Oh, yeah, just get rid of the kids.
Yeah.
Keep the dog. Show them away. I've got a lovely little girl. Listen now, look.
Yeah, you're about a lovely little girl. I've got a lovely little girl.
Well, I mean, you're welcome to come up and tell everybody about your
Pointing.
Yeah, what's her name? Is she anything like you?
She's much politer, much nicer.
Is she? I mean, that's not hard, is it? No, you're very nice.
I'm not.
And Lily, very rich as well. You're about to be quite well off, which is good.
Well, he is.
Yeah, well, not so much you anymore. Round of applause for the, what's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew. Lovely
Yeah.
Andrew. And for his cash. So I have a daughter, she's at home, she's so cute. Her name's Missy. How cute is that name? It's short for mistake. Middle name, morning after pill didn't work. Which could be why she's got web feet. And 1 arm. No, she's actually fine. She's got 10 fingers, 10 toes, 1.10% of dads. Right, so what do you expect? I'm from Millbrook. I'm not actually. I'd love you to be from there. I'm actually from Essex. Hey. You've been to Essex? What's your name, Andrew?
Right.
Can I call you Andy?
You can call me Andy.
Andy Candy? Whereabouts have you been to Essex?
Where?
Yeah, it's quite big.
I was going to say, there's lots of different bits, isn't there?
There is, lots of different bits.
So you've got sort of Ilford on the west, going over to Chelmsford. And...
This man knows his stuff.
He knows his direction.
He does. What did you get for your GCSE geography?
B, I think.
Well, yeah, I can tell. I can really tell. Do you like Essex?
High achiever.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously. You can tell by your shoes and your chino. Are they chinos?
Fucking hell,
Why do you stand up and give us a 12?
Go on, Andy, do it.
What a sport, look at him. Oh, he's lovely. Yes.
Clench. Nice.
Lovely. Are you single, Andy?
No, I'm married.
You're married? Wow. How long has that been?
5 years.
Is she happy?
I doubt it very much, but
She's got money, so.
Yeah, it's true.
I still think she's probably not that happy, but
I mean, to be fair, who is? I am married. I'm married. We've been married for 5 years. Woo! I know. How good is that? Split up for 4.5. Just can't be bothered to get divorced, to be honest. I'm kind of hoping that maybe if he pops his clogs, I get the house. So, do we not really like that? I mean, I guess it's a bit close to the bone. Yeah, what else can I tell you? Yeah, she's gorgeous, absolutely adorable. Nobody really tells you how hard parenting is, though, or gives you any decent advice. Like, yes, take the drugs. Yes, have the abortion. I'm joking. I wasn't. But they looked at me like, oh God! I think that might have violated the COVID regulations. Because you gave that man a lap dance. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Put your mask on.
How long have you been drinking for?
not very.
Not very long. You just a lightweight then. Yeah, you both look smashed.
What can you do?
What can you do? Just keep drink through it.
Exactly.
Drink through it and maybe do some drugs. Do you like drugs?
Getting a bit old for that.
How old are you? I'm good at guessing ages.
You guess away.
Right. Because I'm 39. So I reckon if I'm 39 then it's hard. Oh, 42?
No.
40? Are you younger than me? No shit, really? I don't know, 12?
There you go.
32.
That's good at guessing.
Have you
Yes,
had
you're
work
going to get it
done?
right.
You don't look old. I just feel like you stay. Twins, when's your birthday? How old's your birthday? August. Leo. Are you courageous and brave? Obviously, by the outfit. No. I don't think you want to talk to me anymore, do you?
I don't know about star signs. That's.
I don't think you wanted to talk to me in the first place. Some money to live. Yeah?
If you would like to sit outside on the charity cases, absolutely.
Yeah, I have a charity case. Right, does anybody want to know any more questions? Does anybody want to know about Andy, about parenting? What else can I tell you? Right, I'm going to bugger off in a minute. Mate's back. Look at his socks, they're incredible. Yeah. Opals. Not at all like you two. We love it. What's your name?
Well, mine's Steve.
Steve and Andy. Standy, everybody! Yay! Right, I'm going to tell you one thing. You're going to go down 10, if that's I've been told to say this because apparently my stuff is food and it makes me but I'm going to tell you. So when it comes to sex and parenting, my advice to you is just do anal.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. Bear with me.
But it hurts.
I'm not saying like me, I'm saying you. Because there's no chance of getting pregnant and you're probably you're probably going to end up covered in less shit. Right, one laugh for that. That's not ideal. At least give me a pity laugh. Yay! Thank you so much. That is pretty great. Right, so my name is Victoria Garrett-Leaders. Follow me on social media because I need to become one of those shitty influencer people, and that's what you have to do to get money.
Andy's getting you a job. Andy's
It
getting you a job.
is, I know, but I don't trust him. He'll probably give me like a fake number. You'd ghost me, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. I don't have social media, but yeah.
Well, you've got it now. I'm going to piss off because I want to and I've had my time. Have a great evening. Thank you so much, everybody. Good night.
Give a round for Vic Garrett-Leaders! What a marvellous house. Who's a mum or who's a dad? Who's a parent in here?
Yeah.
Wow. Who's not a parent in here? So many more cheers for that. I never wanted kids. I've said this quite a lot on stage, that I never wanted kids. I'd like to say that in my 20s I went travelling and found myself and did exciting things. No, I just took a lot of drugs, drank a lot of alcohol, and had a lot of sex. It was good times. But nothing to show for my 20s. I've got no travelling. It's all good. But are we ready for your next act?
Oh my God. This is awkward. Sorry. Hello, everybody. Hello. I've got a prop, which is awkward but exciting. We'll see what's in there later. So, crazy times we've been having, obviously. Like, does anyone even know what the rules are anymore? Like, what you can do, what you can't do, who you can do it with. I mean, I'm not talking about COVID, I'm talking about hooking up with your cousins. Is that still frowned upon, or... Because some of mine, pretty hot. So I think like Wales has gone into full lockdown, and London is tier 2. And I'm a bit like, if I go out, it's usually to escape the person that I live with. So what's the point in that? But anyway, what can you do? But talking of London, it actually reminds me of when my mum texts me. She texts me, "Oh help, I'm in floods at Paddington." And I rang her and I was like, firstly, you're a 65-year-old retired woman who lives in Dorset. What business have you got in London? And B, how is Paddington flooded? It's like 3 miles from the Thames. But it turns out she just got overly emotional watching a 2014 Hugh Bonneville film, Floods at Paddington. She texted pictures like a delicious meaty stew, so I go round there for dinner, but it turned out it was just the Felix as good as it gets she bought for her baby. That is right, my mum can't me. But so I'm very excited for tonight. Ladies' night. What do female comics talk about? They talk about their periods. Yes, they do. And sorry, not sorry, I'm going to talk about my periods. They are a big deal. I haven't gotten over getting them, and it's been 23 years. 23 years of periods. I mean, I know I don't look old enough. Actually, people often think that I'm not quite as old as I am. And I realise the trick to appearing younger than you are is to not have achieved much in your life. Like, no career really, no children. People think I haven't had the time to do that yet, but not really the abilities. Although I am married now, which can really pile on the years and the pounds. I'd say we have quite a traditional marriage. Like, he earns a lot more than I do and is older than me, and I'm younger and more attractive than he is. And, it works for us. But he's quite good. Like, he does do housework around the house. Like, he'll do the hoovering, he'll do the washing machine, like put the washing on, he'll load and unload the dishwasher. But I sort of noticed a pattern. Like, it has to involve a machine of some kind for him to be interested. For my birthday. But yeah, 23 years of periods, and I still do not know what is going on with mine. People think that the menstrual cycle and the lunar cycle are linked because they're kind of the same length, but not mine. Mine's like 35-day cycle, 45-day cycle, 239-day cycle. I think my body's like, fuck you, moon. Maybe I'll start acting like you when you let women on you. Never been a woman on the moon, guys. It's very behind the times. It's very anti-feminist. It's got a worse admissions policy than a Saudi motoring club now. But it's just annoying. I would love to know when my period is due. Like for planning stuff, holidays, pregnancies. And they say that when lots of women spend time together, their menstrual cycles link up. And I work with a lot of women. So whenever I think one of them might be on their period, I kind of like hang around with them, spend lots of time with them, just like desperately trying to sync up our reproductive systems as if we're like a couple of Wi-Fi speakers trying to link up via Bluetooth or Bluetooth. It doesn't seem to work. I know exactly what you're thinking. You are just about to tell him, who I've forgotten his name, you're thinking, well, sounds like she's probably got polycystic ovaries or maybe endometriosis. And I don't blame you for thinking that, Andrew, because I thought that too. I've been to the doctors, I've had all the tests, and everything comes back normal. But so I'm a medical mystery. But what I do know is that my uterus and my vagina are not friends. Basically, they're bad neighbours, semi-detached, obviously. My uterus doesn't like my vagina because every time she has a party, she can just hear douche, douche, douche through the wall. My vagina doesn't like my uterus because she's always dumping stuff on my vagina's property. The boundary wall, my cervix, is the only thing preventing a full-on fight, which is why I have to get it checked every 3 years. Oh, bye, Andrew. Bye, Anna. I'm sorry, did my period talk make me feel uncomfortable?
Absolutely not, but...
Okay, we've had a blast. Anyway, right. So, where was I? Right, okay, so my boundary wall is my cervix, and that is the only thing preventing a full-on fight. Which is why I have to get it checked every 3 years, which is a test joke. Thank you. So my vagina will be getting excited because date night's coming up, an anniversary, Valentine's Day. She's pretty sure her favourite visitor's going to come a-knocking. Little does she know what the uterus is planning. I mean, how could she? She's fucking impossible to predict. The uterus is like, hold it, okay, they're on the date. Open the floodgates! She is such a fucking hot rock. Right, so, what with everything that is going on or not going on in there kind of causes problems for, procreating, making babies, if that is what indeed I want to do. So what I'm basically trying to say is I'm not sure if I can actually have children. I might be a bit of a barren Karen. Although not a Karen, I'm just, I just said Karen for the rhyme. Can you imagine an actual barren Karen? She'd be at the fertility clinic like, the average British woman has 1.7 babies and I'm yet to have any babies. I demand to see the manager. But obviously I'm at the age now, 35, where lots of my friends are having babies. Some of my friends have 4-year-olds. How did that happen? That's scary. Some people that I went to school with have 16-year-olds. So I do get a little bit broody if I see a baby. I get a bit gaga and like, oh, so cute. And it doesn't even have to be a human baby. Like the other day, I was in John Lewis, and basically what it was this. It was a floor lamp, and then there was a desk lamp which was just exactly the same as the floor lamp, and it was like the floor lamp was like the mummy, and the desk lamp was the baby, and it was just so cute. It was just a little miniature version, and I had to buy it. I don't even have a desk. And have you seen Baby Yoda? Seen Baby Yoda now? I'll show you Baby Yoda. Hold it. Yes! This is Baby Yoda. Oh, it's almost as if the Star Wars franchise is now owned by some global corporate but Baby Yoda isn't Baby Yoda, but Baby Yoda's baby. So apparently the timelines don't match up for it to be Yoda when he was a baby, but maybe he is the father of this baby. And that begs the question, if he's the dad, who's the mum? Because you don't see a lot of them hanging. Obviously, you see the force to find swipe right, what she is. And talking of dating apps, actually, I'm going to end on a bit of a shout out for my single friend. She's very successful in her career. She is an archaeologist. She specialises in prehistoric objects. She can basically look at something and tell you how many thousands of years old it is. But she's very unlucky in love. And it's ironic because she spends her days and her nights doing the same things. She just dates Neanderthal tools. Thank you very much. I have been Catherine Bowden. Love you all.
my day. However, my other half turned around and went, yeah, we'll see you in the morning, mate. And I was like, brilliant, thank you so much, excellent support. Anyway, you ready for your next act? Are you ready for your next funny lady? Please give it up for the wonderful and the really jumps about trousers, Tiz White!
Get on there, love, get it on. Right, I'm gonna do this. I'm absolutely terrified. But the flu doesn't produce snowballs the size of my head, so I'm going to give this a go. I might pass out halfway through, but we're going to see how this goes. Okay. So are we all having a lovely pandemic? How's it going? Lovely, brilliant. My name's Tiz. I'm from Kent.
Yeah.
Really good. Okay. So I'm from Kent, but I now live sort of in Southampton. I don't still. It's a bitch of a commute if I did. But my parents live in Kent, and the thing about Kent is something that is not only that live there, pretty much everything, and I've just completely forgotten what I was going to say. My head is full of snot. Okay, right. Let's just start this all over again. So we're just going to go with just a story. I'm just going to tell you a simple. Stop laughing at me.
We're laughing with you, girl.
You're laughing with me.
We love you.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you a simple story about the time that I went on a date and it turned out to be a drug deal. Let's go back. So I was dating this dude, and it was like the second time I've seen him, and he was like, "Hey, I've got to pick something up," and I was like, "All right." Don't know why I thought it was a TV. Don't know why I thought it was some extra from his friendly neighbour. It was 10 o'clock at night. But it was fine. Got in the car, we went along, out of the nice part of Kent into more of the scabby area of Kent. I don't know if anyone's ever been to like Croydon. So we're sort of driving into that area there, and I'm like, "Oh, we're getting drugs, aren't we?" And he was like, yes we are. And I start sweating. I don't do very well in the heat. I just sweat a lot. I don't know if you can tell, this isn't highlighted sweat. That's what I feel. That is just me, as it is. And so during the heat wave, actually, a bit of a tangent, during the heat wave I'd like just 2 cold cans of Fanta under my pits to try and keep cold. So driving along, my palms start sweating, and I get really, really posh, because that's just how it works. So when I start to panic, I was like, "Oh, where are we going then?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, no, I've just got to pick up some gear." For some reason I didn't know what that meant. So we're driving along, we pull into a petrol station. I've never been on a drug deal. Don't know if don't answer that, but do I look like the kind of person that's been on a drug deal? I've never been. I thought this petrol station, Shell garage, was where it was going down. So I'm there, bright lights, suddenly ask a load of questions. Is this really where it's happening? This does not seem like a suitable place to be dealing drugs. What happens? Do you just select a button and then heroin flies out into the back of your Fiat 500? What happens? He's like, "Calm down, babe, we're just getting cash, obviously. How else are you going to pay the head of the cartel?" Right? I don't know why I'm sort of looking around expecting like blokes with their hat on backwards, no offence, mate. And their trousers really down low, just sort of like swagger out and offer us some cocaine. But that didn't happen. Anyway, we ended up driving into a nice area, more like a village area, kind of the area that you'd expect to raise your children. And at the end of this cul-de-sac was a van. I was like, "Shit, this is where it's happening." And you hear the music on the radio. Queen is playing. Freddie's singing about breaking free, and I'm thinking, "Same, mate, I want to do it." And we're there, and he flashes his lights, and the van flashes his lights as well, and I'm thinking, what happens now? And he just lets go in neutral and just rolls towards the van. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is happening." And he's like, "Yeah, no, shh, keep your voice down." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he was like, "Okay." Pull up, window rolls down, and he was like, "Just stay quiet, we'll go somewhere nice after, babe." Yeah. And he goes, right, and they just converse, the weirdest conversation I've ever had, the weirdest pleasantries, just, "How's your night going?" "Yeah, it's going good." Selling drugs. And then suddenly I just get, "Tiz! Oh my god!" And I was like, "Oh my god, Frank! Shit, hi!" And he was like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in ages, how are you?" "Yeah, no, I'm good, mate. How are you?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know, just making a living." "Yeah." "I hear you do stand-up now." "Oh, I couldn't do what you do." "Well, I couldn't do what you do either, mate, if I'm honest." "How are the kids?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, kids are fine." Leans over, lifts up the car seat, pulls the drugs out from underneath
small infants, car seat. And that was it. That was how the evening went on. I knew the drug dealer. It was fab. And then he turns to me and goes, right, should we head back to mine? And I'm like, no, because my mother always taught me the exchanging of coke shouldn't lead to a poke. Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry, I was delayed there. Give up for Tiz White, please! Also, a big time. You're so lovely. You've been here before, haven't you? Have you been here? You two? No, you look really familiar. You look lovely. I'm not going to take this at you, don't worry. I can if you want me to. You've got your Carol Baskin outfit on as well, today. I really want mine. It was awesome, I'm not going to lie. Anyway, are we ready for your next act? We're going to have one more act and then we're going to have a break. Just to remind you, please, can you wear your face masks when you're not at your tables and all that. Otherwise, if you don't, I'll lick your face and trust me, it won't be COVID that you get. So, are we ready for your final act before the break? Please, can you give it up for the wonderful Deborah Pike?
Hi guys, good evening. How are you all doing?
Yeah.
Good. Enjoy the bottom layer of the cake. Tier 1? Yay! Anyway, tier 1, tier 2, 3. Anyways. Anyway, it's good to be back in Southampton. What do they say? The second best city in the South Coast after Portsmouth. No, I'm joking. I love Southampton. I went to uni here. Solent, of course, not that rainy. And didn't quite get the degree. Did get chlamydia. I'm only joking. It was gonorrhea. Anyway, loved going out in Southampton. I'll tell you one story before we get going with the actual stand-up. So, went out in Southampton, went to Chaos. Anyone remember Chaos? Yay! Not there anymore, unfortunately, but it's a nightclub. Remember nightclubs, guys? Dance. House, right? More dancing, more touching, more lack of social distancing. And anyway, I get home the next morning, hungover as hell, and my housemate comes into my room and she sort of stares at me in horror, and she is. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I go to the bathroom. This is half an hour before my shift at Topshop Southampton, and go to the mirror, and I had a Spider-Man mask, permanently marked all over my face, writing down my leg, and yeah, that's probably where I got the chlamydia. So, they say clothes make the man. Well, I'm yet to find one made out of boyfriend material. Any couples here tonight? Any couples?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
I've been single a long time. And do you know what I hate? I hate dating apps. I hate Bumble. I hate Tinder. I hate Clue. And I hate OkCupid because you have to write a massive long essay when all they really care about is your face. So anyway, I was messaging a guy on Bumble recently, and I thought it'd be a bit funny because he had a picture of himself in a wheelie bin. So I wrote to him and I said, "Oh, it'd be really nice to meet you." And he replied with, "Well, nothing," because he didn't reply, did he? So anyway, I write back and I said, "I'm really sorry if I offended you," and he just said, "Bins." Anyway, also, so I thought, okay, there's a plumber, he looks a bit hot, so I thought, I'll say something funny. I said, what's your favourite U-bend? And he said, oh love, it's the E67 Mechanism 5. And I said, ooh, sexy. And then he must have just copy and pasted the next message because he just said, anyway, lockdown. Who's gone through some weird phases in lockdown? What's that? Pornhub? You've gone to Pornhub? Okay, nice. House party? Anyone download that one and then realise that it absolutely wrecks your battery and your hand feels like it's on fire? Anyway, well, what I got into was Disney Plus. I say got into. I got my 6-year-old male friend to pay for the subscription for me because feminism. And anyway, with Disney, watching it as an adult, disnolting as you will, you sort of pick up new things about Disney that you didn't probably notice when you were a child. So, first thing I noticed, I've got some Disney quotes here, is Ursula, Little Mermaid. She says, yeah, just give up your voice, love. Men don't want to hear you talk anyway. Then you've got Sebastian. Now, Sebastian knows what's going on because he says, the human world, it is a mess. That's a terrible accent, I'm sorry about that. What even was he? Was he? I can't remember. Sebastian. Anyway, Prince Charming and Cinderella. Well, if the shoe fits. But the one I sort of really started thinking about was Lady and the Tramp, because basically, in Lady and the Tramp is the ultimate fuckboy. So you've got little Scotty and you've got Trusty, all in the name. They're the boys you should go out with. They're reliable, they won't let you down. But no, you want the bad boy, you want Tramp. And Tramp, he always gives you a bit of a nickname, so he calls Lady Pigeon. And that's a classic fat boy move, isn't it? Give you a nickname so you think they're into you. Do you know what the worst bit is? So I don't know if you remember Lady and the Tramp, but Lady ends up in the dog pound because of Tramp. And she gets there and she meets these other girls and she's like, Trixie, Dixie, Flo, who are these other girls? Anyway, I kind of guess we're all in a pub here. So you guys, do you like drinking?
Yay!
What's your tickle of choice? You look like you got a nice gin there, yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
I like drinking. I like drinking so much that I drink quite a lot. And actually, I'm pretty sure a few weeks ago there was a Wednesday where I didn't drink. No. Anyway, so I love drinking, I love going out. This is obviously free, whatever's going on at the moment, because I can't really go out too much anymore. But I used to love going out, having a good time, snogging some men, maybe snog a girl as well if it takes my fancy. And anyway, I love going out. But what I hate is you get home somehow, and then the morning comes, and so does my hangover. Why do you hate me so much? I feel like I'm fucking dying. Is it possible to die from a hangover? Google. Anyway, so if it's me, it's likely that it might also be a weekday. So I'm at work, hungover, and what do you often, when you're hungover, your body's lots of bowely things going on, David Bowley's. What do you need to do when you're hungover? Anyone?
Eat.
Big poo.
A big poo. So you're at work, and you need to do shit, and you're like, where do I go? I've got to do this somewhere quiet where no one's going to know. So you can't go to the toilet nearest because that's only got one cubicle, so everyone's going to know. Can't go to the disabled toilet because, let's be honest, that's where everyone goes when they need to do their hangover shit. So I go downstairs and I find a perfect toilet, and it's nice and empty, and just before I'm ready to let out my booze poo, I hear some click, click, clicks, the heels of the assistant director, and that's when it happens. And I think, bloody hell, she drank even more than I did last night. Anyway, I'm going to leave you on a little poem that I found recently. It's all look. Isolating within your home, but you, my friend, are not alone. Tickets for theatre shows, dates have now passed. Friday night boozing, drinking so fast. Now we talk to friends through apps on our phone. But you, my friend, are not alone. Zoom, Face Party, Teams, Skype, so many apps. Netflix, reading, shopping, eating, so many naps. Friends sending you quizzes to play on your phone. But you, my friend, are not alone. Performing shows with an audience to come see, and hearing applause for the person you once pretended to be. Standing on that stage feeling so much at home. But you, my friend, are not alone. Come on, guys. Give me something else. Playing netball with a team outside in the winter now feels like a dream. Empty sports courts, people have all gone home. But you, my friend, are not alone. Thank you. Anyway, that was actually a terrible poem written by Deborah Jane Pike, aged 35. You've been a great audience. Thank you. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Deborah Pike! A big cheer for her, please! Right. We're going to come to the break. We're going to break. I just need a time. I don't have a watch. What's the time, people?
5 to 8.
5 to 8. We're going to come back at 10 past 8. Go and have a fag, go and get another drink, and we'll see you after the break!
And then when I video the whole thing or not video, so I wanted to like watch it and then like video. I don't know what it's called, but
Oh my God, yes. Do you think it matters if it's
I'm like, I think you got one of them. Yeah, and then so yeah, like you're like, so anyway, so I oh, is she watching it?
So, to look forget about
Yeah, that's great. And well, one that I think the one that I did for the nodding dog, I wanted to make it out because I got some lines that I then posted on Facebook and just like me doing it. Because that was only 2 minutes. I could do it like that. And it was small, it had Baby Yoda because then I I said about like, yeah, I think this was 30 quid. What?